All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome once more to a set review interview of sorts with our good friend and associate VBBN.
Hello.
Hello. Now, you very recently were on the channel when you received advanced copies of the Chima 2014 construction sets, and now you are back because it's time for Hero Factory Invasion from Below Wave 2.
And I'm burnt out from doing
Yeah,
reviews.
you've done quite a lot in rapid succession. How does it feel?
To do these
Yes.
reviews. Uh, well, it's especially good, especially with these ones because they were signed,
Oh, wow.
so it seems a bit more special, I
Yeah.
guess.
No, I don't.
But I still don't have a huge interest in these sets,
Aw.
or not as much as I would have with Bionicle, so it's not like I'm jumping up and down, throwing myself out the window for
What
them.
if Bionicle comes back next year and you get to review the sets for it?
Then my reviews would be a lot more lengthy. I would be sleeping and breathing those reviews.
Yep. Okay. Let's cut to the chase. Hero Factory Invasion from Below Wave 2, the final wave in the Invasion from Below series, because, 2014 is going by pretty fast. The first wave was mediocre at best, but it presented some good foundations. And the question that we must ask ourselves today is: has the second wave surpassed the first? And I guess that's as good a place to start as any. What do you think?
Um, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell because like this wave is so much different for the mechs
Yeah,
because they're all like four-legged and all that. But I was thinking beasts are better
yeah,
overall because I like all three of them, whereas I was very scattered about the first
yep.
wave. But the heroes are hard to tell. I can't really make a comparison. I do think they're more creative. Uh, but I kind of prefer the mech design of the first
I
wave.
will agree. And it makes no sense why they decided to switch to these ones. If you actually watch the show, you would think that the other ones would be better underground because you can jump around and be mobile. And yet,
They're made out of tissue paper and they just get destroyed easily.
yeah. Well, so you like the beasts better. Let's get into them first because they're probably the source of most discussion in this wave, I would say. Controversy about them, not necessarily bad, but are they good? Have they lived up to price points and whatnot? So we'll start with the smallest one, Tunneler Beast versus Surge. What do you think of that one?
Definitely one of the best sets of the year.
Truth.
Cause I like his design. It's very unique, and I just think overall he looks really good. Um, I think the only thing maybe he's not so good on is parts,
Ah,
because he's got parts, but I don't really know how useful they would be to people because he's got like the fin pieces, which everyone's gonna have a ton of,
yeah.
but he has no armor shells at all.
Yes, one.
Oh yeah, one. But yeah, I think he's unique, and his cocoon on his back is different.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see it, like a piece like that being incorporated into a build, not just being used what it's supposed to be used for.
Yeah.
And he's the only beast without a Zur
Ah, yes. Azure.
teal.
I remember everybody was so excited about Azure, and it's just been oversaturated whole year, and we didn't get one single piece of armor.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's good that he is solid. But what about the Surge minifigure?
Um, well, at Toy Fair, I thought his helmet was a recolor of Rocco's, but that's not the case. I don't mind him. I like, because I like a blue, so having a blue minifigure is nice. But like I said in my reviews, he has red eyes, which doesn't make any sense. He should have green,
Yeah.
or yeah, green, and then Bulk's got green, and he should have orange or a red, so they kind of mixed that up. But
Yeah,
um, yeah, I don't remember what is Surge. Oh, he's got yeah, all the minifigures this wave have got the little projectile
yeah,
gun from Star Wars early in the year. I like that. It actually works pretty well, and I think it fits like Hero Factory somehow.
very nice.
Big projectile weapons. It
Yeah,
fits.
well, so like the helmet, what do you think? Do you think that transitioned well?
I don't think any of these helmets transition well. I don't
Ah,
know. They all have weird expressions on them that I can't get over. Like Surge's looks like he's just going crazy, like from an anime or something. He's got that permanently stuck happy
I think most
face.
of the ones from the first wave, except Breeze's, translated okay.
Well, yeah,
Bolt's
yeah.
is pretty
Stormers and
cool. I
Shadows are
don't
pretty.
think Surge's did well at all. Like I guess the
It's their
yeah,
mouths. All their mouths is
I
weird.
completely agree. But with Surge's, I also think it's the round shape. Didn't That was never his helmet shape anyway. So doing it that way and then having the only sign of his old style being the patterns on the top of his head, I don't think it looks all that good. But that's just
Yeah.
me.
I mean, his thing was he had like kind of like a pointed back to the
Yeah,
helmet or pointed top, and they didn't really do any of that with any of these helmets. They just made him round, and that's
yeah,
it. I guess I kind of had to do that to fit him in the cockpits, but
exactly.
still.
I can't really fault them, but I know an easy way they could have got around it. Maybe make a hero that actually has a round helmet like Stringer. That'd be cool. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, enough about him. Set looks good. Probably my favorite of the wave, to be honest. And then we go from him into the next beast, another source of much discussion. Crystal Beast versus Bulk. And this was a big one, because back in the days of old, before we knew about the Chima construction sets, the fact that he had Translight Blue was a big deal. And he kind of got upstaged a little bit because of all that's been going down with the Chima sets. But on the bright side, since those aren't coming out in the US, at least he's still around for people to get their Translight Blue parts. But as far as the actual set goes, what do you think of him?
Um, I like him better than I thought. Or like when I first saw it, I didn't think I was gonna like him, but I think a big part of it is because I really like to pose my figures, and
Yeah,
the beasts are the only ones that really pose very well. And I don't know, the Chris Belize, he kind of I didn't like his neck at first. That's the only like the rest of his design is really basic.
yeah,
So there's nothing surprising about it, but his neck is the one thing that I was kind of it was really long, and I think it ended up working actually kind of well, especially with the spikes on the
yeah,
back. And I think overall he looks cool, like his color scheme fits. Yeah, if he had been Azure, then that would have been a mess.
yeah,
And I do think even if you have all of the Chima sets, that he's worth getting because the bone piece that he has in Translate Blues, it's only one of them in the Chima sets. There's one with Vardy, and he has five. The Crystal Beast has five,
ah,
and then his head is translucent, and that's the only trans head that there is.
yeah.
So
It's cool. He's not entirely without a purpose. Um, Now the weapon, you mentioned in your review that you weren't too sold on the weapon for a lot of reasons.
I don't like I don't like weapons that don't fit the character that they're with. Like if you gave a big club to some skinny little guy, that wouldn't make any sense. So giving a staff to a beast doesn't make any sense to me. So I just don't like it.
And it kind of inflates the piece count and therefore the price.
Yeah, I think his piece count was pretty high because of that. And then Bulk has got a lot of bonus little pieces to him.
Yeah, it's got like the rocket boots.
Yeah, which is nice because I mean Crystal Beast's kind of big, um but yeah, the weapon, I mean, it's nice because you get two more of the Quasar spikes, but his design is kind of similar to the Queen Beast weapon. They both have like a top that opens and
Yeah,
closes.
truth be told, I kind of like Queen Beasts a little more, but it's also this one's more compact, I guess. so it's not entirely without purpose, but I do agree it's kind of unfitting. I guess that's really all to talk about with him. He's kind of one of the simpler ones. Speaking
Yeah.
of Queen Beast, this was possibly second to the Combat Machine. It was one of the biggest. This could go either way kind of sets, where it could be bad, it could be good. And with the high price point, I believe it's $35 in the United States. There's a lot of doubt about the set. So, how do you think it ended up? Go.
Firstly, it's because I mean, it has a high price, and everyone's trying to justify it because it has a lot of parts, because it has the most parts. But I think that's really inaccurate because it has 3 minifigures, and when you figure in their guns and then the cocoons, there's 2 cocoons and everything, its price point's probably lower than the Rocket or the Surge machine. But I think for what you get, the price makes sense because the Queen is about the size of a $20 beast, and then the smaller little mech is probably about a $10 set. So that right there is 35 or $30, and then
Yeah.
you have 2 cocoons and 3 minifigures, and I think it has 1 jumper.
Yeah, all
So
that's worth the extra $5. So I
yeah,
definitely think even if piece count kind of is a bit iffy, it does end up working itself out.
I do think the price is justified, but the Evo machine, I don't was it the Spider machine? I don't know what the name
Yeah,
for it was.
Spider.
I thought there was a
You got it
name.
right.
All right, good. I don't think I put that in my review, but um, I don't really like it
Aw.
because it's kind of boring. I mean, well, it's a nice design. It's not really meant for to be like a heavy combat machine, so I think it was an odd choice to put in with the Queen. But and I don't like that it's Evo again. But I think its design was like one of the most intriguing for me. 'Cause, it's got the 6 legs, and it's with a container. It's the only set in the summer wave to feature that container. Um, but the main issue is that it's very hard to pose. And when the minifigure is in it, he doesn't fit. Everything's really crammed together. The weapon kind of scrapes on the ground,
Yeah.
and then when you put the minifigure in, his feet are touching the weapon, and so you can't close the canopy completely. It like sits on his feet,
Eh.
like on touching the bottom of his feet. I don't know. Um,
Seems like a good idea, mediocre execution.
yeah, but the Queen Beast, she ended up being a lot better again than I thought she was going to. Her design is very unique. Um, and it's kind of like is everything Nadiki should have been. I mean, she's got all the articulation and everything, and she's got like a lot of unique articulation points. I didn't realize at first because her torso is not built using a hero torso, so like her arms can go forward and back in a lot of weird positions just because there's a lot more clearance.
That's bold praise.
Um,
Everything Nadiki should have been.
well, yeah. He would have. I like that design with having 4 legs and then having a body that's coming out and then arms, but you gotta have the articulation to match it.
Very true.
And the Queen Beast, I think her overall look is really bug-like, and it ends up looking really cool.
I will agree with you there.
And then her hands, because all the beasts this wave have hands, and hers are the best because she actually has thumbs that are an attempt at making thumbs instead of just little horns stuck onto the
Yeah, I don't
hands.
know why the others couldn't do something a little bit better in that regard. Or at least
Yeah.
use the bigger spike piece. There are multiple sizes, you know.
Well, Tunnel Beast uses the bigger
Oh,
one, but
yeah, that's true.
it looks weird because his thumb's it's always stuck out. It's never
Very
closed.
true.
Let me see, what was I gonna say? The minifigures are boring because it's everything we've seen already. Um, I kind of would have liked if another minifigure had something like a smaller little mech or something, like the Breeze
String. Oh,
polybag.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that too.
I'll never get over it. I won't. The fact we got like 1, 2, 3, 4 sets with Evo. 4 sets.
Well, this is going kind of off topic, but I think I explained this in one of my reviews. But it's like what I said is they could have completely changed distribution. Breeze could have kept her mech because she didn't have a mech in the first wave, and then instead of the little Raka machine, that could have been like for Nex.
Yeah.
And then the big Surge and Raka combiner, that could have been a Nex and Stringer combiner, and then the Evo mech and the Queen Beast could have been another mech for
Yeah,
Stringer.
it's not like it,
Would have made so much
it's
more
not like
sense.
it would be difficult. So I don't know why they didn't do it, other than they didn't want Stringer to be in the wave because of his color scheme. It wouldn't have worked.
Or I mean, Surge would have been with the Queen Beast, and then Bulk would have been still with his own machine. Yeah, that would make
Yeah.
sense. And they would still all have minifigures.
It would not have been difficult at all. But alas, Lego hates us.
Oh, one last thing about the Queen Beast though is her weapon annoyed me from the minute you saw it, and it still annoys me because I don't understand what it's supposed to be. Because they have that little golden chain on there, and I don't understand what it's why it's there.
Because it
And it's
looks
annoying.
cool. That's all the reason you need.
Because it doesn't hold the weapon in a position. I thought that's what it would do, and it doesn't. It's useless.
Well, it looks cool. Well,
I guess.
all in all, do you think the beasts? Well, it's probably a stupid question. You already said yes, but do you think they were more successful than the first go round?
Definitely more successful than the first go around. And if you're gonna get figures from this wave, I would prioritize the beast. Because even just getting the beast, you're still gonna get bulk and surge. If
Exactly.
that's the reason you want the max.
And now we will get into a very interesting part, the machines. So in this wave we got Rocket Crawler, Breeze, Flea Machine, which I still don't understand, Bulk Drill Machine, and the very polarizing Surge and Rocket Combat Machine. And we'll start small with the Rocket Crawler. I'm not even going to ask you if you think the set's good, because it's pretty self-explanatory what it is. I'm rather going to ask you, do you think it's good enough to warrant having a set?
It's useless.
Aw.
Because well, I like the idea of a small mech, but it's Raka. We don't need him. He's already got another mech this year, and I mean, he's with the Raka and Surge combiner. I keep saying that instead of Combat Machine, but he's with that, and then he's got a bigger mech in the first wave. Why does he need
This
this?
is Raka. Evo's trying to upstage him. He's got to match his game. He's got
Yeah, I had all my minifigures together the other day. Like, it's so many Evos and Rakas now.
Yep.
But
The fight for supremacy.
yeah, I don't. Oh yeah, there's a lot of Furnos too. I don't know. There's a lot of minifigures. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them all. But I, I don't know. I'm very mixed on that set. It's not something I would have bought if I were paying for it, ever.
Aw. What if it was like, no, I guess it has too many parts for a poly bag.
I mean, you do get a cocoon and a jumper. That's good. That's a good throw in. And if you don't have Raka yet, it's a cheap way to get him.
Yeah, but like pay $5 more, get the stealth machine, which was actually pretty good.
Yeah. And I don't think its design is all that bad. But again, if you threw Nex in there and you made it orange,
Yeah.
and not just because it's Nex, it would make more sense. Because I was thinking of Exoforce. It'd be like Uplink, where he's got like a little engineer machine. Because the combat or the crawler, I don't understand why it's called a crawler either. It seems like it'd be completely useless in combat. So to make it into some kind of engineering machine or more utility would make a lot more
Yeah.
sense. Because it's like a little exosuit.
Yeah. Just a nice way to increase your size and do stuff. That's pretty much all it is.
Oh, and I don't mind that it doesn't have a canopy.
Yeah, nor do I.
I thought that was a stupid choice at first, and then after having it in hand, because like again, thinking of it as more like a little utility machine, I like it because there's a picture in the review of it with a canopy, and
Looks so odd.
I mean, it's fine, but it doesn't add
It
anything
looks
to
kind of
it.
weird. It ruins the kind of thing they had
Yeah.
going. So that's something. I guess as good a place as any to say. I guess we kind of skimmed over them before. What do you think of the new cocoons? That's one of the advancements with Wave 2.
Awesome.
They're good.
I love the cocoons
Good, good, good.
because the little petals fold down. They don't always work. Some petals are kind of, I think they're, I don't know, because it's like a injection molding some random, I don't know how it works, but I think some of them end up having more of the harder plastic in them, so they don't stay down as well. They kind of slingshot back upward.
Ah,
So if you have a jumper sitting on one, it kind of flings them, but
still sounds pretty
but they
good.
don't fit heroes very well
Ah,
because their heads are almost poking out the top. I mean, you probably bend their legs and cram them in there, but
hmm.
or just stick them upside down.
Yeah, or just leave their heads sticking out. I think that's how it's intended. Well, that's pretty good. Let's see. Machine number 2. I'll like start kind of smallest in stature. Breeze Flea Machine, and to this day, I still do not understand the name. It makes absolutely no sense to me.
Yeah, even the original name didn't make any sense because it's not an anchor either.
Yeah,
It should be like the grapple machine or the hook
yeah, that would have
machine or
been great. The
something.
Breeze Claw Machine would have been fine. What do you think of it?
Um, I like it because the function works extremely well on it.
Yeah, that's a
Because
question a lot of people are having. Like you mentioned how it's able to retract fairly well, but how does it fire in the first place?
you, you pull it out and there you go.
So you
That's
can't
about it.
flick it?
You can, but it doesn't always fire, and if it doesn't fire, then you end up just hurting your fingernail because
Aw.
uh it's really hard to explain how it's done, but it's like the string is you like take the string and you put it against the axle, and then you take that and you cram it into the tri connector for the actual claw. So
Well then.
yeah, so you have the string and the axle getting forced into the hole that holds the claw. So it's kind
It's
of
more
it's a little
worth it to
tight.
just do it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not in there too tight. It does spin pretty freely. It does fall out if you were to pick the mech up. It's not like it's snug in there.
Like the function's cool, the set looks cool, like if you don't pick it apart too much, but its construction seems a bit odd, like from the side view where there's that gray bone piece and there's just nothing on it, and the center is gappy. It looks
Yeah,
real
and then
kind
there's
of
the common theme of having exposed ball joints on the back.
yeah. I'm not
Uh,
entirely sure what the deal is with that.
and my biggest complaint too was that it's terrible. There's no it has articulation, but it doesn't do anything for it because you can't make it pose because it's three legs. So if you move one leg, it falls over. The back leg is the back leg is basically completely static just because it's built in a bad spot.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much a set you would buy if you really like the function or you want the pieces because it does have those lime green pieces which are nice.
I'll probably buy it just because I support interesting functions. And that is a theme that these vehicle sets have, except for the crawler. And I guess,
Oh, and one thing I didn't really show in my reviews, but they do all have sticker sheets again. So Breeze gets a sticker sheet this time, as does Bulk and Surge. So if you didn't have those in the first wave, or they didn't have them in the first wave, so now you have them. I don't know why you would want them, but there you go.
yeah. All right. So the next one, is it the bulk drilling machine or the bulk drill machine?
I think it's just drill
Okay.
machine. I kept calling it driller
The
though.
bulk driller machine. Okay. How do you think this one turned out?
I like this one a lot better. And this is the one. This is like the design that I wish the crawler had done because it's a utility vehicle that looks like it's been outfitted for war after the fact.
Yeah.
Because
Shit.
I mean,
I
what?
guess in the show they never really intended it to fight. It was always just to drill stuff.
Yeah, because the drill flips and then there's a gun, but that could even be like a mining laser kind
I
of
think that's
thing.
how they used it.
Oh, I don't remember. I only watched it once.
I unfortunately had to watch it
Um,
like 4 times for review purposes.
but there's a lot of weird things on the set that they don't make, I don't know what they're supposed to be. Like they just took the lightsaber bars and stuck them behind the cockpit. I don't know what that's supposed to be. If they're supposed to be like plutonium rods or if they're just lights in a really odd spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, the biggest complaint, the set does look a little bit empty from a side because um the mount for the cockpit is just compressed up at front. There's like no connection that goes across the whole body, so that's why it looks kind of empty from the side. But
And then there's no armor on the bottom because reasons.
yeah. But my biggest complaint is that the drill doesn't stay up very well when you have the drill flip forward
Oh no.
because those Technic pieces, they're not enough to hold it up.
Hmm.
I think it would have benefited from some kind of piston.
Probably.
And I also wish it spun. I don't know why. It would be cool if it spun. Not the drill spinning, as it does spin, but I mean like the whole mount itself turning, the whole back.
Yeah, that would have been neat. But overall, do you think it was successful?
Yes. Of all the mechs, it's probably it's probably my favorite.
Wow. Of all the mechs or
Not of
Wave
all the
2?
mechs, but of all the mechs in Wave
Okay, I was
2.
about to say Furno Jet Machine.
Yeah.
Well, all right, that's pretty cool. What do you think of the Bulk minifigure? I guess now that we're onto his set.
He's all right. His helmet's okay, but the lime green doesn't look good at it with all. What? Oh my God, can you
Look
talk?
good at it with all.
Doesn't look. It doesn't look very good. And I don't know. Is with all the minifigures just having guns kind of loses
Yeah, I
personality,
wish they had some of their
their
tools.
individual weapons. Because I kind of would have wanted Bulk to have like a hammer or something.
That would
I
have
don't
been cool
know.
to have the hammer piece. They use it all the time. He could have Ronan the Accusers.
Thor's hammer, why
Yeah,
not?
that would have been cool, but okay. With that being said, I think it's time for the big one. The source of controversy and conflicting opinions. Because this year, the Queen Beast is not the only set to get a box. No, they have created this thing, the Surge and Raka combat machine, where we have Surge with a Walker vehicle of sorts, and then Raka on one of the most bootleg planes I've ever seen in my life, just tagging along for the ride. And this set does retail for $25, so that is decently steep in comparison. So let us know, VBBN. What do you think?
If I could return this set to Lego, I probably would.
Wow, if you could return it, so you don't even, not even the pieces.
I And I got two of them too, which is
What?
great. What am I gonna do with the second one?
Give it away.
But yeah, I'm probably going to. Uh, but yeah, I don't. It's one of those sets where when you look at it in pictures and you're gonna like it or you're not gonna like it. There's no way anyone's gonna change each other's minds on this. If somebody likes the look of it, there you go.
Like
But
Hank
having the
here.
set in hand, like, I didn't like it at first, and having it in hand, I hated it even more. Because in its combined form, it looks terrible from every angle. I can't pose it because everything is completely awkward on it. The legs are bent in terrible
I don't know why
position.
they're bent. Makes no.
Yeah, it's not an animal; it's a machine. It's there's so many bad design choices on this.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Starting with the bottom half. because that's the half you build first. And it's basically just a giant mess of bones, which is okay because it's a different build. It kind of makes me think of when you're building the Furno jet
Yeah, the
machine.
torso looked really interesting when you posted that picture.
Yeah, I like builds where you start it off and you don't know where it's going until it's done. But the thing is, it doesn't feel like it's done because the front half is really solid and there's a lot of good stuff going on, but the back half, I thought you were gonna resume building that in the instructions somewhere, but you don't
Yeah.
because I mean, the front's got all these bones and then it's got these all kinds of armor shells and weapons, and the back half you just stick the legs
You
on and
kind of
you're
joked
done.
about it, but I really do think that Lego kind of gave up when they got to the back. I think they said, "Well, we want this to be a certain price point, and we've got this look we're going for." And they built it, and all was going great. Then they realized, "Oh yeah, we got to make a back half," and they just couldn't do it in the piece budget. So they said,
I think maybe at first it was just like a one machine, and then they decided, oh, let's put a plane on top of it, and so they cut the parts and they made the plane
stupid
instead.
plane. I'd
And
rather just have a good surge vehicle than the stupid plane."
because in the instructions, I pointed out in my review, the set looks great in the instructions in the comic because its back half is armored with pieces that don't exist in the set. So I don't know what that was, where that came from, but
Yeah.
and then I really hate the choice of the back feet. I don't understand what they were thinking doing that because it doesn't make any
I
sense.
think the Breeze Polyback has those too. And the Rocket
Is
Crawler.
it really? I mean, the crawler's okay, I guess, because it's like it crawls, but the combat machine it already has a set of feet in the
Yeah,
front, which is the big Stormer XL feet.
they
So
had,
if
they
you were
had to do the
going to make another,
smallest feet possible.
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do that, at least do like the older hero feet or the Ben 10 feet. I don't know how those have been for
They'd
articulation,
be
but
okay.
or at
Set
least
can't
make
pose
them the
anyway, so
same
who
color
cares?
as the front.
Set
What?
can't pose anyway, so who cares about the articulation?
Yeah. And I don't really like the small back legs and the big front legs because on something like that, it needs to look like it can actually rip something apart and it's ready to just kill something, but
No,
it
it looks
doesn't.
stupid.
It looks like it's struggling to keep itself up, and it's ashamed.
As well, it should be.
And then the top half is a complete change of pace because it's completely Technic. But I was looking at his design and I was like thinking of alternate ways to do it, and I realized that the only reason it's made out of Technic parts is so they could do the flick fire missiles in it and the wings, which still don't work. They're the exact same problem that Fluminox and Surfanger have. I saw somebody in one of the reviews commented saying they were. It looks like they work slightly better. No, they don't. Um, and the cockpit. That is, I do agree with, excuse me, BZP's review that the cockpit, if the cockpit wasn't there, it would look 100 times better because it completely ruins the flow of the set.
Yeah, I will agree with you there.
And they put those little panels on the front for
Yeah, it
aerodynamics.
looks stupid.
Yeah,
Floor panels, lack of them.
like from a top-down view, it gives it a nice shape, but that's it. The whole set looks good from a top-down view. That's the only view it looks good
Yeah,
from.
I don't know. It seems like they lost their way with that particular one.
It was a good concept, but again, I think the Queen Beast should have just been the Queen Beast, and then the Combat Machine should have gotten the $35 price slot because I do think it would have been a good set if it had more parts and it was more well developed. I just think right now it
Exactly.
kind of suffers.
Or cut the plane because it's stupid. Like I remember in the show, I think Rocka had to like fly out on the plane, and he was like, "Oh, that's okay. I'm gonna save the day." And then he flies in to like fight the Queen Beast later on, and she literally like backhands it out of the sky. Like,
After she destroyed Evo's third, fourth machine in that
yeah.
day.
So it's just stupid. I wish it didn't exist, but it does. and we must live with it and send our condolences to the people that actually like it, like Ankir and other assorted people. But overall, I guess we're at that point. This wave as a whole, heck, this year as a whole. What do you think now that it's over? Do you think it was okay?
I like how it was a complete change of pace, but I don't want to see it happen again.
Yeah, I'd rather just go back to basics.
And if they do, it has to be extremely revolutionary. It has to be a complete change from this. It can't feel anything like this year.
Yeah, I've had enough. Want to go back to basics. Chima can't satisfy me so long as those sets don't even get released everywhere.
Yeah.
If you had to pick a favorite that's not Tunnel or Beast, because that's the obvious one, what would you say?
From the whole year, from this wave.
Both.
From this wave, the Queen is probably second.
Excellent.
And then all year, Jaw Beast or the
Jaw
Flea
Beast. Yes. Best,
most underrated set of the
best
year.
design ever. Well, I guess that is that. Nothing.
Oh yeah, and then there's a combo model.
Oh yeah,
but
the
I don't know
combo models.
instructions for those.
Yeah, you can plug in the stuff to the combat machine and make it better. Anything that takes off the plane, it's better.
Yeah, that still doesn't work too well though,
Aw.
because the instructions, how they tell you to do it, doesn't actually work.
Oh.
Uh,
Wow.
because there's some clearance issues with the parts, so you have to like where what pinholes it tells you to put the piece into. It doesn't. You don't put it there. You put it like a couple back. So the bulk and the flea, or the driller and the claw, they sit kind of far back on the machine. It leaves it really empty. And then I tried the container thing for science, and that was a failure
Yeah, it
too.
looks pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Well, admirable effort. Pretty much all I care about at this stage is I know the comics are back, but is there another full spread battle like in the first wave?
Yeah, it's basically the exact same thing as the first wave, where the start of the instructions is that set fighting, and then the end is just them turning into the combo model
Well, no,
randomly.
I mean, like, remember that huge picture where it had like the three-headed beast? Is there
Oh,
anything like that?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't
Then
remember. Hold on, I got it right
evidently
here.
not, or else you would remember.
Let me let me just grab one here. Throw my other sealed combat machine out of here. Where are these instructions? Did I actually like pack them into these bags? That is genius of me. All right, here we go. Yeah, kind of. Oh man, that's a mess though.
Oh.
It's not like a giant picture on the front. It's the top. But it definitely shows. No, it shows all the machines except for the combos.
Okay.
I'm looking at Bulk's thing right now. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I guess that was really the last thing I cared about finding out about this wave. It can end now. And because there was only one TV special and these sets are out, we can look forward to months of nothing until the leaked pictures inevitably come out. Hopefully they'll come out early this year. So I would like to thank you for providing us all with such good in-depth reviews with good photography that's better than certain other sites.
Let's just hope I get him next
Yeah,
year.
here's hoping whatever the new theme is. Here's hoping. If it's Bionicle, which probably won't be, or something else. We shall see. But
Galador Reloaded.
yeah. Thank you for joining us today and for writing these reviews. Do you have any other final comments you would like to say to the audience?
No.
No, okay.
Usually I have a witty remark, but I had one. I lost it.
Well, that's okay. We will see you all next time for the next video, as well as the next batch of set reviews if they pan out, which hopefully they will. Look forward to September to October when we get leaked pictures, and goodbye.